Welcome to A-Level Biology. My name's Mrs Jenkins and I'm going to run through an overview with you of what you can expect from A-Level Biology in college and hopefully answer any questions that you may have. Like all A-Levels in college, A-Level Biology is a 2-year course. The first year is called the AS, that's 40% of the total qualification and has 2 exams. And then the second year is the A2, that has 3 exams and that makes up the remaining 60% of the qualification. Unit 1 of AS Biology is called Basic Biochemistry and Cell Organisation. It builds on lots of the topics that you would have studied in GCSE, and the content you can see on the screen. We've got biological molecules, so proteins, fats, lipids, cells and organelles, transport across membranes, so that will be diffusion, active transport, osmosis, a little bit more too, enzymes, DNA, RNA, ATP and protein synthesis, and then finally mitosis and meiosis. This really is the fundamental unit in A-Level Biology, and you'll notice that you need to learn this really well because then the remaining units all build upon what you've learned in this one. You'll start Unit 2 in the January of your first year in college, and this really focuses on much bigger biology. So Unit 1 looks at the small stuff inside the cells, and Unit 2 builds you up generally then to whole organisms. So you've got the topics listed on the screen. You've got biodiversity and classification, gas exchange in a range of animals, transport in animals, so that will include the cardiovascular system, gas exchange and transport in plants, and then finally nutrition. A2 Biology begins with Unit 3, and we usually start teaching that in the summer just after you finished your AS exams. So by the time you come back in your second year, you already would have started studying for your A2 in biology. There are lots of topics that we cover in this unit. As you can see on the screen, it's really varied and builds upon what we learn in AS Biology. The final content unit is Unit 4, and this covers reproduction in humans and plants, inheritance, variation and evolution, genetic technology, and then finally the option, which is immunology and disease. So that will take you through the immune response and specific diseases, for example, influenza and tuberculosis. Unlike other A-levels, Science A-levels also have a practical examination. Throughout the course of your studies in biology, you'll be preparing for this by completing practicals and answering questions related to them. There will be 2 parts to this, an experimental task where you carry out a practical and a practical analysis task where you do lots of statistical tests and data interpretation. Hi, I'm Mrs Jenkins. I'm the Head of Science in college, but you'll most frequently see me teaching AS and A2 Biology. Really look forward to meeting all of you soon. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Mrs Menegatti. I teach the A-Level Biology. Predominantly will be having me for your AS year, so I look forward to meeting you. Bye-bye.
Biology is a very popular subject in college, and we consistently get really good results from our learners, trying to help them achieve their full potential. So what you can expect from a typical lesson in biology is really comprehensive lesson notes. We use the same resources for all of the teachers to make sure that we've got a consistent approach and you all feel like you're getting the same support from the teachers. Those resources that we give you will contain all of the content that you need to succeed in your exams. There are lots of diagrams to try and break up heavy text, lots and lots of questions that we'll practice. Those will, lots of them be in lessons as well, so you'll have plenty of support when you complete them. Some lessons will have practicals, but there won't be as many in biology as in chemistry. And then hopefully you'll find that you've got really approachable teachers who you can seek out should you need any help. Key to good achievement and improving achievement in any course is regular assessment. So you will be regularly assessed throughout the year in biology. This would be done informally in the lessons using verbal questioning, mini whiteboard quizzes or Quizlets. You'll be regularly set homeworks, which generally would be past paper practice based on old WJEC papers. Tests will be set regularly, generally once every 4 weeks or so at the end of every 1 or 2 topics. Some practicals will be assessed, and then once we have finished a full unit, there'll be a mock exam, which will sit in exam conditions to give you a good understanding of where you are. A-Level Biology is assessed 100% by exams. The AS is worth 40% of the qualification and the A2 is worth 60%. You can see the breakdown on the screen. This is worth bearing in mind when choosing your courses, because if you feel that exams potentially aren't the best way of assessing you and your skills, then there are other courses in science that you may wish to consider, such as BTEC Applied Science or WJEC Vocational Medical Science, which also have aspects of controlled assessments as well as the exams. There are lots of reasons why students choose biology in college, but the main reason really should be that you like it. So biology is a very challenging course. There is a huge amount of content, but it's also hugely rewarding and I think very interesting. It's a really good course to help you prepare for university because it's got such a wide variety of skills in it. It goes really well with other subjects. It doesn't just go well with sciences, it goes well with other humanities subjects too. There's really nice current biology in the specification, such as DNA technology. It means you get to understand the biology of you, and also having a STEM course is really desirable for employers and also when you're applying for university. You'll give yourself a nice head start to A-level biology if you are confident with your GCSE biology content. Yes, the A-level is much bigger and it's more difficult, but having good fundamentals from GCSE will certainly make this an easier transition for you to make. All A-levels in college have the entry criteria of 6 A-star to C grades in GCSE. There are also some specific entry criteria for A-level biology, and they are a double B in GCSE double award science, or if you studied GCSE separate award science, then we look for a grade B in the GCSE biology. We also require BC in GCSE mathematics and GCSE English language. The B can come from either the maths or the English. The C can come from the maths or the English, but it has to be 1B and 1C at least. And all of these qualifications need to have been completed in higher tier. There are lots of skills that you'll develop through studying A-level biology. Some of these you'll develop through doing your practicals, and that will help you with things like time management and teamwork. You'll learn how to work well independently because of the amount of learning you'll have to do. You'll also develop your numeracy skills because 10% of the marks are available for numeracy in your exams, which is why we require a GCSE in mathematics. You'll develop your reading skills because there's a lot of information that you'll have to work through and interpret. Logical thinking because it's a science course and we have to think logically. And because of the size of the course and the amount of content, you'll also develop good memory skills. There are lots of routes that A-level biology can take you down in the future. Lots of students who study A-level biology then study science-based courses in university. These range from things like medicine, pharmacy, nursing, midwifery, biomedical sciences, to ecology, conservation, zoology, pharmacology. It can lead to careers in research science, and then an emerging field is biotechnology. Really, it can take you to many places and it just depends on what your interests and goals are. Lots of students that study A-level biology choose it alongside other science courses. Particularly popular combinations are biology with chemistry and maths. These courses support each other very well because the skills that you develop in one subject will be supported by those in another, but that's certainly not to say that you should only study these subjects together. Biology is also great with geography, especially if you feel like you want to go down the route of conservation or ecology in the future. But because it is quite a broad science, it goes really well with other subjects too, and we've had great success with students studying it alongside courses such as English, English literature and language, history, and modern foreign languages.
The A-level biology course at St David's is really well structured and the lessons always feel like they're organised, and we get booklets for every single topic and we get past paper booklets so we can practice answering the exam style questions. We also get taught with annotated diagrams, discussions and lots of group tasks just to make sure we're clear on all the topics. And I feel like the content covered has given me a really well-rounded understanding of the world species and of the environment.
For me, one of the best things about studying biology is that it often answers questions that I haven't necessarily thought to ask before. Yet this is the same thing that fuels my curiosity because it forces me to consider new concepts and ideas. Also, I find that through studying biology and learning about life's processes from within tiny cells to whole ecosystems, it really helps me deepen my appreciation for life as a whole.
I really like the environment that the teachers create in the classroom. I always feel very comfortable answering questions or sharing any thoughts that I have on the topics. And also, even if I do get a question wrong, they're also very supportive and they'll help you to understand where you went wrong and then also help you to answer the question more appropriately in order to get the best grade possible.
I always find any topic to do with our body really interesting, as it's mad to think that the things we're learning about are happening inside us right now. Similarly, with things such as the kidney, you don't really realise how small some of the things are, such as the nephrons. But when you really pause to think about it, it's fascinating to think that something so small can play such an important role in keeping us alive.
So before even starting your biology course here at St. David's, I would say it's a really good idea to just refresh your memory and remind yourself of all of your GCSE content, as I can assure you that all of it will be relevant and hopefully it will help your transition from GCSE to AS biology. One of my biggest tips though, and anyone will tell you this, is to make notes as you go along and revise your content as you go along too, because it will really help you to consolidate your learning, and trust me, it will save you a lot of extra stress later down the line. Also, never be afraid to ask for help, ask when you're unsure, ask if you need any clarification or extra support, because the teachers will happily give this to you. That's what they're there for. And lastly, don't be afraid to get things wrong, because learning from your mistakes is part of the learning process. But yeah, good luck guys.
If you're thinking of taking biology, I would really encourage that you do it. It really is a lot of fun, and whilst sometimes it can seem like there's a lot to learn, in the end quite a few topics link quite nicely together, so it's like following a piece of string where if you have one end, you can follow it through to the other.
My favourite topic at A-level was definitely cells and organelles, because at GCSE you're given a really simple cell diagram, whereas in A-level biology the eukaryotic cell is a lot more complex and you get to see all the organelles inside and the functions they perform.